where your difficulty of saying no comes from. Like asking yourself, what is the origin of that fear? Like, are you afraid to disappoint people? Are you afraid you don't want difficulties, or you feel guilty? Yes, thank you, Sharon. People pleasing is a big one, and we will talk about that. So I can also give you a few more questions that if you answer yes, you are in the right place. Kind of like, uh, have you ever felt taking advantage of because you struggle to set boundaries? Do you feel drained after spending time with certain people, even though you love or care for them? Do you avoid speaking up or sharing your opinions to keep the peace? Are you afraid that setting boundaries or saying no will make people angry, disappointed, or distant? Do you feel a constant need to prove yourself or seek external validation? Do you ever wish you could speak your truth without fear or hesitation? Do you find it hard to separate your emotions from others and end up absorbing their pain or stress? So, who said many yeses to what I just mentioned? Just raise your hand. Raise your hand if it's you. Did you hear yourself? Did you see yourself in all this, what I shared? Yes, absolutely. So it means that you are either, recovering empath, like like I am, or you are just starting your recovery. You're starting to ask yourself the question of like, something is off, something is not working, I don't understand. And I can tell you it's a process, especially for us, for people who care a lot, who come from their heart, who are connected, at least from time to time, to their feelings and emotions, who care about other people, sometimes more than they care about themselves. This is a conversation for you. And I want to bring this. I want to make it interactive and interesting for you guys. So it's not going to be only me talking and or like us talking. I want to give you some value. Yeah, codependency is a big one. People pleasing is a big one. But I also want to help all of us, and offer you a couple of interesting practical exercises or practical things that all of you can start doing today, implementing today, to set yourself on the path to recovery. So we will be recovering from that. So I want to share, I don't know, my screen with you in a second. No, I'm doing it wrong. Share. Okay, we're in the right place. So let me do this. So few slides. I promise I won't bore you with a lot of like slides and PowerPoints presentations. So but these are important things, and I think it's important to see them as much as it's important to see to hear, right? So I said, right, we say yes when inside we are screaming no. We feel drained after spending time with some people we still like, we can't say no to, and we do that. We try to avoid conflict, and we want to learn how to change that. So for empaths who feel overwhelmed, taken advantage of, or drained by the world around us, right? Especially now, And I know that people can say, oh, especially now, all the time, especially now, but it's especially now. Like it feels like it's Armageddon, the world is coming to an end. It's a weird times on all the different ways. Politically, nature is kind of like fighting us too, and everything else, right? So it's hard for us empaths to find humanity, to find kindness, to find all the like positive emotions and feelings. So, and we feel like no one else can feel that heaviness. So, and I want to like bring some humor and lightness to a difficult situation that we are all in right now. And humor is important, and kind of like embracing, learning to embrace a dark side. We call it our dark side, and channel your confidence, assertiveness, and boldness. When I type the word boldness in this presentation, it showed me with the red that it's a wrong spelling. I was like, what did they mean? They probably wanted to talk about boldness like being bold. So we are not talking about boldness being bold, but we are talking about courage. So, and it's often associated with psychopathic traits. Like, what can, like, if sometimes empaths are like asking for a little bit of psychopathy, right? Uh, how can we look at it in a positive way? How can we see that there are some traits that we can adopt, that we can learn to be able uh, to uh, uh, to to get rid of the things that are just not good for us, right? So while still honoring the depth of your empathy, your intuitive gifts, it's not about becoming cold-hearted. It's about mastering boundaries, stepping into your power, and showing up and unapologetically as your authentic self. And it's easier said than done. I'm not saying again that I got it all right. I'm still struggling with it. There are days when it's happening. There are days when it's not happening, and I'm still searching for my way, or how can I improve that. So, and I'm inviting you to do the same. See, boldness is so embrace boldness. So, there are five important aspects of psychopathy that we can adopt, or we can bring into our life as empaths. And let me know what you are working on currently, or what resonates with you. Boundaries, learning to say no, and learning that no is a full sentence. With ease, ha ha ha, without guilt, creating space for yourself without over explaining or justifying. Oh, that's scary. Even reading that for me, or saying that, is difficult. Now, I will be honest. So embrace boldness. Embrace boldness. If you're losing hair, embrace boldness, and embrace boldness if you want to embrace courage. So cultivate confidence to pursue what you want without fear of rejection or judgment. Number three, break free from people pleasing. Ooh, detach from the need for external validation and stand in your truth. First of all, you need to know what's your truth, right? So again, it's coming from knowing, from your intuition, from your truth, and it can take you time to figure this out, which is okay too. No one can push you to find your truth, or or you need to find it, and it's a different time for everybody. So harness emotional intelligence, balance compassion with assertiveness, giving your best uh, 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 of both worlds, right? So how to be still compassionate, but at the same time assertive. Again, very, very difficult, and only with experience and practice you can do it. Practicing unapologetic living is extremely difficult, right? Like when we have a baggage and like um, a lot of guilt, a lot of fear, allowing your soul to thrive in alignment with your purpose is a beautiful thing, but also is a path. So if you are not there yet, uh, that's okay. And we're here today, all of us, to come together and figure something out. So let me know in the chat if uh, all these things were on your mind, or you were struggling with it. Like maybe tell me the number, what were your struggles, or what are you struggling right now with. And I promise it's the last slide, so I will stay away from slides. Um, I want to talk to you about something that I think is very important in terms of for us empaths, because it's a huge topic. By preparing for this class today, I even came up with idea, and raise your hand if you would be interested. First of all, I want to incorporate more of that work into our life coaching program. We definitely will focus on it next week when we invite you to our 7-day free launch, free class. I will talk about that, everything on coaching, from coaching mindset, which this is a big part of the mindset, to coaching skills and business, everything coaching. So it's an amazing opportunity for you to figure out whether coaching is the next step for you, to become a coach is the next step for you, or maybe not, and to get some clarity. Clarity is important, right? So I want to incorporate that topic of psychopathy a tiny bit into our program, and then we will be launching another program of membership where we can talk, because I see that in our students, I see it in my clients, that it shows up a lot, right? The myth of too nice. Too nice. I will cover that a little bit for you. So empaths often feel pressure to always be agreeable and kind, even at the expense of their well-being. Does it remind you of something? Like, does it remind you, like, yeah, like nice, I'm nice and I have to be nice, and that's what nice means. So this societal conditioning that tells empaths they must sacrifice their needs to be good people. But I will say one thing. So right now, there is a big movement in holistic and healing coaching communities of like set up healthy boundaries, and like, and sometimes it goes a little bit too far. So I'm not inviting you to be too, because too far is also very isolating, can be very isolating. When we go a little bit too far, then instead of boundaries, we build walls. And then we don't even notice how we cross that little threshold, and then it becomes walls. So in our society, like individualism, or like focusing on, oh, what do I want, like what only I want, like it can be a little bit too far. So we still have to find our footing, right? We have to still be ourselves, who we are. We are empaths here. We care a little bit too much sometimes, right? But I want us to keep the kindness, because my own experience, I burned myself a little bit by being a little bit too kind, not having too many boundaries, like serving others at my own expense, and it didn't go well, right? So it's I started to get burnt out, and when I started to get burnt out, I got the opposite effect. So I started to push away people. I started to like get more angry, or like mean or angry, and it's not good for me because that's not who I am. So kind of like understanding that thing, that if you go too far with that, it's not a good thing either. So we will talk about to be good people, right? So what does it mean? Reclaiming power through the archetypes, the archetype of psychopath. Of course, not as a literal model, but as a symbol framework for detachment, boldness, and self assurance. Balancing the archetype with empathy creates a healthy, empowered self. Humor, as I said, humor is very important. Empaths secretly crave villain energy, like saying no and not feeling horrible about it. Ooh, standing up for yourself and not caring what others think. Mm, is it realistic? 100% realistic? I don't know. So, but before we go any further, I want to hear from you guys. I had that question for you of when you heard the name of this class, like what made you sign up? Like maybe we can hear from several people. Just unmute yourself and talk to us when you heard that name.
The fact that what you do, you have to be comfortable with saying no, and you do have to kind of get that mentality of because it's kind of you become your own psychopath in a way because it goes against what you're so used to in order to break out of that cycle of what society kind of puts you in, especially when you're used to feeling other people's feelings and things like that. It becomes overwhelming, so you fighting yourself, you kind of becoming your own psychopath in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Thank you, Mirella. Anybody else? Mirella
Yeah,
always has the best backgrounds.
yeah, I can most definitely agree with that. It's for me, it's an overwhelming. Uh, as I progress, it's an overwhelming feeling. So, to feel the emotions and everything of everybody else, at times you do feel like, you know, am I the issue? Am I the problem? Am I going insane? Am I the psychopath? Like, so I'm just striving to learn the boundaries, how to set boundaries instead of isolating so much because I isolate a lot. And
Mhm,
to your question, yes, that is it is realistic for you to having a feeling of not really caring. It's not that you don't care, it's that you protect yourself more than anything because you are so overwhelmed by the emotion. So yes, it is a realistic thing because I do it all the time. So
mhm, mhm. Thank you so much. Thank you.
yes.
Mhm. Maybe one more person.
I think that sometimes what I found is that I'm so pleasing everybody else and I'm constantly saying yes, that then when I do say no, it's it's seen as a lot harsher than someone else saying no because anticipate that I'm going to be that person or I'm going to just roll over and let the snide comment go by, or I'll pick up the project and I will just finish that project. And so sometimes it's hard to break out of that role because you're going to get pushback from it because people aren't used to you saying no.
Great point. Absolutely. And unfortunately, like the way to change that will go through uncomfortable moments because and I'm so sorry, what is your name? Because it has QYE.
Yeah, sorry, it came up with my login code. It's Bridget.
Bridget, very nice to meet you, Bridget.
Nice to meet
I'm Katya. So nice to meet you. So we need to understand, so to retrain ourselves and to retrain people around us who are used to us always saying no, that know that their reaction will be like, what do you mean no? They will be, and to be able to withstand the wind of like people's disappointment and frustration, and retrain them. So by being certain way, we not only train our psyche and our behavior, we train everything and everyone around us. So retraining will take a moment, and it's I will give you an example. When my son, who is now 21, was tiny, our pediatrician told us when he was 6 months old to train him to sleep through the night. Oh my God, if you tried it, don't try it. It's a torturous experience because he screamed, he cried, an emotional mother, like a hormonal mother can't, it's very hard to not go into the room when baby is crying. They say now different things, it's like always something new, right? But at that time, so you have to like overcome that moment of despair, and allow him to cry, so that in 3 days he was fine. He slept through the night. He still sleeps through the night sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't, but that's okay, it's not my problem anymore. So but the thing is, it's the same thing, right? You're training people around you, and they will have sometimes very loud and unpleasant reaction, like the babies who cry at night. But it will that shall pass. Absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit, and thank you so much for sharing. And at the end, I will also look at our chat, and we'll be able to, if you have any questions also, please put it in the chat. We will also share with you important links. So if you are not part of our community, please join this group, because I will do some live videos, and we will do a lot of interesting things in that group. It's a private group. Thank you, Sana, is sharing the link. A second link, clarity call. If what we talk about today and will continue talking about today resonate with you, and you feel like you want to learn more about how you can take this to a next level and maybe become a life coach, or maybe tap into your intuition, I'm inviting you to schedule this call with me. I promise that it's not going to be a sales call, because if you don't, we look at you as you look at us. It's important for us who joins the group. And I'm talking to several people, and I talk to people, and when I see that this is like our person, of course I will say that. But if you feel that this is not your community, or if it's not time for you to join, or if it's not your path, we will never try to convince you. But at least you will get some clarity, and we will get to know each other, and you will be able to understand what is your next step as an empath. can you move your and make your empathy your passion, purpose, and profit, or it will stay with you as a part of you being an empath and do something very different. So again, I'm not trying to convince anyone. I will be happy to give you a lot of valuable information, ask you questions, and see if we're a match. So, and so this is the second link. And a third link, and I will talk about it in a little bit. I'm excited to invite you to a week with us, with Academy, with students of Academy, with teachers of Academy, with me of Academy. And there will be a lot of that. If you are a person of no faint hearts, join us next week. It will be every day of next week for 7 days. And we will see, maybe we will add a day or two for more clarifying questions and for more information. But every day from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time, we will get together and we will tell you everything about coaching, about the tendencies in 2025 in coaching industry. We will tell you what does it mean to be a coach. And of course, every day we will also focus on intuition in some way or another, because intuition is a big part of who we are and what we do. We're not just conventional coaching. We are much more than that. So please join us. If you can't come to all the classes live, you will be able to, once you register, you will be receiving replays, and you will be able to watch the replay at the time of your that's convenient for you. But if you can make it, I'm urging you to join us live. Because we will be doing a lot of interesting things, and it will help you to learn new things, to about yourself, about get some clarity on many things, and one of the main things whether life coaching is for you or not. So let me talk a little bit about the myth of being too nice. The belief that being endlessly kind, agreeable, and self-sacrificing is the best. Is the best way to learn to earn respect, to earn love, to earn acceptance, right? So you have to be extremely kind, extremely agreeable, extremely self-sacrificing at your own expense. And this myth leads people, especially empaths like us, to suppress our own needs and boundaries for fear of being seen as selfish, unkind, or unworthy. And here are some elements of this myth. Being nice equals being good. You are nice, it means you are a good person. If you say no, you can be labeled as selfish or unkind. So have you felt that? Do you have that limiting belief that nice equals good? And it was told to us. So yes, these are the limiting beliefs of an empath because of us not always being confident, or not us feeling like that we are good enough. But it's also part of the society and society norms and what kind of people tell us. And it's also part of who we are. So in a way, a psychopath and empath fight within us to for its place, right? Because we sometimes it's our nature to give endlessly. It's our nature to help, and it makes us feel on purpose. So for that reason, don't also go into like, okay, now I'm saying no to everything, to everyone. Now I'm like rejecting everything. No, go. That's how intuition and your own knowing your own energy will help you. You have to go within, deep within, and ask yourself, is it true to me? Like, and if it's true to you, do it. Even if other people will say and think that, oh, you're an idiot, they are taking advantage of you. If it's true to you, and if it is in alignment with your purpose, do it, even at your own expense, because it will be at your own expense if you don't do it. Get like shamed by people, and then at the end you will regret it. So ask yourself, because every person has their different level of kindness, right? Or different level of understanding what is serving others mean. Be true to your, like, first, I teach it in intuitive development. I teach it in the Life Coaching Academy. Start with yourself. Check in with yourself. Know your own self. And it's kind of like, this is your baseline. Because you can be kinder than others. So for you, it will be a normal thing. It won't be, then for somebody, it's like no go. So knowing who you are, checking in with yourself. Max, did you raise your hand?
Yes, I wanted to say that message of being nice equals good was probably taught to us by people who wanted to control us, albeit maybe subconsciously. Now, it doesn't mean they were bad people, but if somebody teaches you that being nice equals being good, it's probably because at some level they want to be able to manipulate you so that you can't say no to them.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, and at times it's easy to manipulate us, right? Because we are so so open to other people, and yeah, manipulation is a big part. So people will only like you if you are nice. So overextending yourself to meet other people's needs. If you are overextending yourself because you need to do that, do it. If it's because so other people will like you, don't do that, because you can never be liked by everyone, and you can never meet everyone's needs and expectations. There will be always, I promise you, always someone who will say, no, you are like you're not jumping too high, or you are jumping too high or too low. Like, so, like, again, knowing within yourself, being strongly feeling within yourself will help you. So, and if you overextend and it's against yourself, you will start hiding your authentic self out of fear that you will be disliked, right? It's a lot of people become somebody else. Feel or you start resenting because you prioritized others at your expense. Niceness, there is a myth that it prevents conflict. It suggests that being agreeable avoids tension or argument. And in reality, avoiding conflict often leads to passive aggressiveness, unspoken resentment, and lack of true connection, because boundaries are unclear or non-existent. Then self-sacrifice is a virtue. Oh, empaths in particular may believe that their role is to absorb others' pain and to make sacrifices to help people. So if you feel that your role is to sacrifice, then reframe that. Never use the word sacrifice. If the word sacrifice is in your vocabulary, this is already wrong. I will repeat that everyone has a different threshold of their goodness or what they are willing to or what they are in alignment to do. So you just need to find that threshold. You need to find you in that. But it's like a litmus test for you that if you hear from yourself the word sacrifice, that's it. Then then your threshold is being, you know, it's more than you need to do. So the word sacrifice should not be. If it's just like you do it because there was a lot of people, like for example, with fires in LA, a lot of people extend themselves and sometimes even risk their lives to help animals or their neighbors. And you can say, oh my God, but you could die. Yeah, but they also, it was something that was bigger than them, right? So, but yeah, like don't compromise your boundaries, but don't build the walls and don't do what they say because they have a lower threshold of, I don't know, of empathy than you. So just know your own yourself and be true to that. Nice people don't set boundaries. This myth implies that setting boundaries is mean or unkind, leading many empaths to let others overstep their limits. Ironically, a lack of boundaries often creates tension and unhealthy dynamics as it builds resentment and burnt out. I'm a testament to that. I like the past couple of years were very hard on me and for me in so many different ways, and I got burnt out. I got burnt out not because of a lot of work. I actually enjoy working. I love working. I see work as a pleasure, but because I overextended myself too much to like people who didn't need that or who were not able to recognize it and appreciate it. It burned me out and it created this false feeling that all my sincerity, all my kindness, all my love, you know, like kind of stop it didn't help me to believe in humanity and kindness, right? Like, okay, all people, they don't like my kindness is not appreciated, is not needed, so let me step away. So which created, like what John said, right, which created more walls and like I was kind of for me to step away, to back away and to hide, right? I don't want you guys hiding unless you need to hide sometimes, right? Which is okay too. So how does it resonate with you guys? Anybody wants to, before we go into an exercise that I will share with you that is called the boundary sandwich. Any comments, anything you would like to share with us on what we are talking about right now?
I'll do it. So for me personally, I mean, I was at one point in my life where it was, that's what it was like nice. The definition would be to say yes and things like that, how much I can over exert myself. However, once I started working on myself, what it boils down to is, and when we get those unhealthy expectations from people that define nice as just always giving in without having healthy boundaries, it's a narcissistic behavior. They don't have to be narcissist, but it boils down to narcissistic behavior in order to have control, and also it's their own insecurities projected into ourselves. So that's where we have to establish strong boundaries, like you mentioned, and also we have to be authentic. When we come from being authentic, then we don't question what we do and how we respond.
Yeah.
And for me, that's huge.
Thank you. Absolutely.
They caught you?
Yeah. Adrian.
Yeah, you can hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I really appreciated you saying was the boundaries. I had to set boundaries with my patients. I used to just take phone calls and say, and if a patient said to me, "Oh, I think I have a yeast infection," okay, I'll call something in, something like that. And it got overwhelming, and the patients actually wind up taking advantage of it after a while. And they'll just think, well, and when I had to retrain, so you talked about retraining, and we really did have to retrain our patients. The same way as when we change policies in the office, we have to retrain our patients. And it makes our life easier. They think it makes their life harder. But one thing I don't think you mentioned, and at the risk of embarrassing myself, I'm going to say it. I think when you're empathic and you go that far, I think some of it has to do with your own ego. That you believe, well, I can handle this, or I'm good enough, or I'm powerful enough, or what, why shouldn't I do this? I can do this. So it's almost as though you think you're so capable that you keep doing it. I know that happened to me as a doctor I'm so capable, and I would just, work extra hours, or make extra phone calls, or really go more than the extra mile until I got cancer and the stresses were too great. And when I had to think about it after the cancer and what was stressing me the most, truthfully, it was the insurance companies. I would stay 2 hours extra fighting with the insurance companies to get authorizations for my patients. And I just said, that's it. So in 2016, I just stopped taking insurance, and so that has been one healthy thing for me. But it was because of who I am inside of me. And I take full responsibility for that, and my ego and what I thought I was capable of, and even at the risk of hurting myself, and not recognizing, like you said, that it was hurting me, not until this big thing came and hit me in the face. So thank you.
Yeah. So absolutely. So check in with yourself. What is true
Yeah.
to you? If you're doing that to prove to yourself that you are superhero, right? Or that then you are not doing yourself a service. If you do that because mm, uh, uh, you fear rejection, you are not doing yourself service. If you fear other people's frustration and disappointment, you are not doing yourself service, right? But if it's true to you, and no matter how big it is, and no matter how difficult it is, and you want to do it because it's in alignment with who you are, and you want to do it, do it. Don't listen to anyone who will say, "Oh, no, like it's too much. You will get burnt." No, you will get burnt out if you're not doing it the right way. That's how you get burnt out, not from a work, not from extending yourself when you need to extend yourself. So just again, it's a conversation with yourself. And the same thing about not bringing energies. For us empath, we feel everybody's energies. We feel like we bring everything home. I call it don't bring anything home, because to know your own energy as a baseline will help you understand what is yours, what is not. And when you see what's not yours, it's much easier to disconnect and feel okay. because I myself years ago could not go to like concerts or big groups of people because I was overwhelmed. I didn't know how to handle that. And by me understanding my own energy and how I feel in the moment helps me to, okay, this is my energy. Okay, this is my energy. This is not my energy. Okay, it goes away. So it's so easy for me to brush it off. It's also called in life coaching detached involvement, right? When you can be there, but you don't have to experience and bring these feelings in. So all these things we learn in our main program, life coaching program, and you are welcome to learn about it. Don't forget to schedule a clarity call with me. You schedule a clarity call with me also if you choose to join us next week for 7 days of path to purpose, to make the best out of the time for the next week, so we can learn a little bit about you. We can learn how we can best support and help you. Okay, and all the links are in the chat for you for your convenience. So let me share with you this interesting exercise. And you can use this exercise for many different things, not only for boundaries, but let me present it to you how you can use it to set up your boundaries and setting firm yet compassionate boundaries, not building walls. It's called the boundary sandwich. It's a very simple and effective method to set boundaries in a way that feels firm, clear, and compassionate. It uses a structure similar to sandwich. The bread represents kindness and acknowledgement, while the feeling is clear, firm boundary. And then another bread to make it a full sandwich also gives you some positivity and hope. So top slice, acknowledgement and validation. All our students and graduates are very familiar with acknowledgement and validation, right? So what is acknowledgement and validation? Is us really listening and acknowledging the person of what they are saying and validating their feelings, not agreeing, but validating, saying that your feelings have the right to exist, right? Like you're not crazy to feel this way. So you acknowledge and validate. Start with a kind, empathic statement to show you value the relationship or situation. So I will give you an example. I really appreciate the work you have put into this. Or I care about our relationship and want to make sure we're on the same page. I understand this is important to you and I want to honor that. So this is a valid acknowledging and validating statement. Then comes feeling. Feeling is boundary. Clearly state your boundary. Be direct, firm, and specific without over-explaining or apologizing. Avoid leaving room for negotiation unless you are open to it. So example, however, I'm not able to take on extra tasks right now. Or that being said, I need to decline this invitation. Or, but I want to be clear that I'm not comfortable with this. So first you say something nice, appreciative, positive, then you state your boundary, and then bottom slice is reaffirm or offer support. And with a statement that reaffirms the relationship, provides encouragement, or offers an alternative if appropriate. So it keeps it positive and reinforces that you care and you respect them. Example, I hope we can find another way to work together in the future. So kind of the whole thing. I really appreciate the work you have put into this. However, I'm not able to take on extra tasks right now. I hope we can find another way to work together in the future. So, or I'd love to spend time with you another day when my schedule isn't so packed. Or let me know if there is another way I can support you. So it's a sandwich. And this is a great example or great exercise for any for your work. For example, you talking to your co-workers or employees or team, and you always start with a bread, then you go into the feeling, and then you finish positively. It's always a beautiful way. Like, for example, in corporate, they use it a lot when they give feedback about people's work, right? They start positively, then they give feedback, and then they finish with a hope, or with some positive things. So try it out in the situations when it's hard. And they say that no is a full sentence, but not always we can just say no and say nothing else or not feel weird. So this sandwich, the boundary sandwich, will help you to deal and retrain yourself first and people next with your boundaries. And any questions about the sandwich, the boundary sandwich? So it's a very there are a lot of different exercises, and again, I will hope to include it into other classes or into our programs more, because this is important for us. Not only skills and knowledge of the skills or marketing or sales helps us, but also the right mindset and like a healthy mindset and healthy boundaries do help. And I want to finish before I will explain to you a little bit about what to expect next week. With also, it's called the empathy dial visualization. So I will invite you to make yourself comfortable and do this visualization, interesting exercise with me. So we will learn how to manage our empathy by dialing it up or down. I do it in a different way, like we do it in our intuitive development, and it's also a great tool to help you understand where you stand with your empathy and where in this particular situation you need to be. So close your eyes, do a few powerful breaths in and out. Like I was at the breathing class today offered by Jenna Brooks. It was amazing. Thank you, Jenna. They are doing a very, very cool health driven program. So if you're interested, we'll be happy to share with you the information about that. I'm sure they will repeat it. So breathing in and out deeply and slowly. I'm inviting you to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, setting aside any issues of the day that you may have had, and probably you did, like all of us, just breathing in and out. And now I want you to visualize a dial labeled empathy, like imagine a dial labeled empathy. And visualize situation where you've given too much empathy and felt drained. Now imagine turning the dial down slightly. Still caring, but not absorbing others' energies. Dialing down slightly. And without judgment, feel or see what changed. Dialing down. The degree of that empathy. Now, imagine situation where maybe you were not true to yourself in alignment, and maybe you listened to somebody else who told you not to do that, and you dialed down your empathy when it was not needed. I want you to kind of change that situation in your imagination and dial up that empathy. Make it true to you. And see how it feels in your body. And now maybe you can connect with the situation where your empathy was dialed down rightfully, and just try to play with it and dial it up to see how it feels when you are overextending yourself. And see the difference when you dial up and it's the right way, and when you dial up and it's not. And use this visualization during difficult moments to consciously manage and identify your emotional bandwidth. So when you're ready, you can very slowly take another deep breath in and out and come back. Anybody would like to share the experience? How did you, like anything that came up that was maybe unusual, or what did you feel? Jenna?
I know for me, when you said dial it back, it just felt like almost like a weight was lifted off. I felt more calm, like I was able to breathe a little bit more space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I really felt when you said dial it down. It just felt more room to breathe.
More room for you, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
Yeah. So this is a well-known situation for empath, right? Like our space becomes so crowded that we can't breathe. Faith, you raised your hand? You can unmute yourself. Face. Okay. Yeah, so try it out. Like identify your threshold, your uh, bandwidth, right? So to know everything is checked against your baseline of your emotions, baseline of your intuition, baseline like starts with you and everything else. Because a lot of people go into figuring out others or figuring out, and it's not the right way. How can you know what's yours and what's not when you don't start with the right step? And one last thing I want to share, uh, like it's called 5 second pause technique. When someone asks something of you, pause for 5 seconds before responding. And silence is okay. We learn it in our life coaching program that silence is okay. Silence is actually good. Don't be afraid of silence. Take a moment, take 5 seconds before you respond. And use this pause to silently ask yourself, do I want to say yes? Am I saying yes out of guilt or obligation? If you are unsure, use a neutral placeholder response. Let me check and get back to you. Or I need a moment to think about it. So don't feel obligated to respond right away if this 5 seconds didn't help you to know the answer. So, and there are so many ways how you can get yourself out of this vicious circle of wrong empathy and learning a little bit of how to become a good psychopath. Yes, so silence recharges and really identifies, I don't, the truth, or identifies what it is that's important. And also, there is an interesting exercise when during the day you make a note of all your yeses. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Like take a day out of your week and get like and write down every time you say yes. And then at the end of the day, analyze all these yeses. When the yeses were when the yes was authentic and when the yes was not coming from the right place. So kind of look at the numbers, right? They tell us in business, look at your numbers, understand what's really happening for you as an empath. So and I'm really excited again to announce that we are going to kickstart our 7-day Path to Purpose workshop next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and it's different times, right? Central, it's 11. Eastern time, it's 12. It's an hour every day with us where you will learn a lot on life coaching, on mindset, on intuition, on business, on the tendencies of a life coaching industry, on what is to expect, how to find your space and place in life coaching and healing community and be successful. So we'll end I can tell you it will be a very honest conversation. So we will tell you how things are in reality, which will help you to clear it for yourself, whether it's for you or not. Or maybe someone else told you that it could be a good path for you, and you will realize that it's not for you, right? So I'm really yes, it will be on Zoom. Let me look at the chat. So because yes, it will be on Zoom. And you will, once you register for the launch, you will be getting the replays every day after the launch. So if you absolutely can't make it and can't make all of them, you will be able to get the replay and still participate. And to make the best out of this launch for you, I'm inviting you to schedule time with me, and there is a link in the chat to schedule the clarity call so you can learn more about your own gifts, your own path, and I will be happy to clarify something for you and help you figure this out. Again, we are not going to push you to do anything that is not in alignment with you, because we are interested in having the community that like is ready, is want to take this next step, is ready to thrive, is ready to live in their passion, purpose, and profit. And I'm really sincere and honest with that. And if you guys have any questions, so we still have few minutes, I will be happy to answer them. So maybe there are questions about the today's topic, maybe there are questions about the launch, or anything that you need to bring to. Please unmute yourself and ask the questions.
One question is in the chat.
Okay. Regarding responding as an empath to other people's trauma. That's a good question. That's a great question. Thank you. So I will say Hem Lakshmi. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. Hem
It's
Lakshmi.
Hem Lakshmi. It's Hem Lakshmi.
Hem
Hem
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi.
Okay.
Yes.
Hem Lakshmi.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I may, first of all, thank you for this very enlightening and inspirational, very clarifying uh, interaction tonight. It's actually pretty late. I'm from the Caribbean,
Ooh.
so that's why my there's no video right now because I'm really, really tired.
Oh, thank
Um,
you for being with us. I appreciate
it's
it.
I think it's close to 11 p.m. and I have work in the morning, but I was well, two things. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New
And
Year.
thank you for providing this opportunity. The first thing is, I think at the beginning you asked a question, and I'm not sure you got the answers you were looking for, but I think one of the questions was, how did we respond, or what was our initial response to the term
Yeah.
psychopath? And I will tell you, I got to know about this because 2 days ago, my best friend who lives in another country, she actually saw this and she sent the link to me, and it was really, really early. It was like, before 6 a.m. And she sent it to me because she knows that I feel very deeply. So my issue is not really a matter of managing my responses or taking on too much because I'm good at time management. I understand social dynamics. But of course, this is challenging for everyone because, it depends on, for example, the nature of the interaction or where the demands are coming from that makes you feel overwhelmed. So if it is if it is an arm's length reaction, like interaction, such as a work environment, as opposed to your mother or your sister sharing something that resonates with you very deeply, a past that is shared, that's different. Anyway, getting back to my point, so when she said psychopath, she sent me a second message saying, I'm not suggesting you're a psychopath, right? So I thought it was funny, but I thought it was an excellent way to get people's attention, because it immediately resonated with me, because psychopaths are people who are notoriously disconnected from these typical human emotions. So when I saw this, of course, it made sense. How can we, people who feel so deeply, resonate, or maybe borrow some of those psychopathic tendencies? So anyway, I thought it was a great catchline, a great heading, to
Thank
invite
you.
this. Yes. Okay. So my question, sorry. Yes, my question is, when it comes to something like trauma, meaning that, okay, even if you don't go so deep, or get so serious, like a topic like trauma, let's say, for example, the energy in the room, you are really an empath, you can feel other people's emotions. There is an energy frequency that everybody vibrates on, an energy frequency. That's why they say negative energies are more contagious than positive energies, and we hold on to negative memories more than we do with positive energies. So my question is, um what you've said about dialing emotions up or down, creating that room to sense that what is mine and what is someone else's, that is helpful. I think what I'm looking for is, how do you enter a room where you're having a conversation, you don't know what's going to come up, and then at the end of this you feel so drained. It could just be a social environment, and you feel really drained, or you're looking at a movie and you didn't realize it would have this effect on you, or someone is talking about something that, I mean, it's the human condition, it's not something you can just turn off. So either you step away and say, look, I can't hear anything from you, or you tell yourself, look, I'll be polite and say, oh, I'm so sorry, maybe another time. But the bottom line is, talking about deep emotions that comes from someone else, that you are actually feeling like you're living it in the present. Sorry, I probably went too far in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah,
my
no.
time.
First of all, yeah. So there are like it's a complex answer, and I will try to
Yes.
to be quick. So first of all, especially dealing with other people's trauma, um, you have to be trained, right? Like you have to be trained to be able to professionally respond and work with human trauma. So not like all good trauma specialists are empaths, but not all empaths are trauma specialists, right? So first of all, like a trauma training or understanding trauma will help you to respond. If you are not trained in human trauma and you feel that it's like something is big and overwhelming, it also depends. If you know that you can just be there for the person, it's better to just keep space and offer space for them to share. You don't have to actually say anything, and allow them to you provide like a safe space for them to share, because probably most of the people on this call are people who like people come to with their problems, with their secrets, with their situations. And if you don't know like what we teach in a way our life coaching program, if you are not trained professional, or one thing that you can do is just openly listen, and you will learn this. We will be practicing that next week. the skills of listening and acknowledgement and validation. So just listening and providing safe space for them to share. That's what people need. They're not expecting you to treat their trauma. If it's overwhelming for you, like after a conversation like that, after like you can always create some boundaries, and like coming home you need to do some clearing, right? Like a shower, you like smudging, or like burn some Palo Santos or sage, like to actually clear your energy if you feel that.
Yes. Yes.
Don't bring anything home. And also realizing that it's not your energy, you really literally like clearing that off, but just providing some space for people to share, and that you are there for them, that you care, that you listen, is huge, is already huge trauma healing without special trauma training. But if you see that it's a lot, like you can always set boundaries in terms of what you allow people to share with you or not. So, but be mindful. uh, but sometimes we have to help other people. Sometimes we are
Yes. Yes.
brought to this world, right, to
Yes.
provide space for them, and this is beautiful by itself. It's okay if you do that, because they probably come to you, they feel your energy, they want to share with you. So it's already a gift that people come to you.
I appreciate that, and especially since what I am speaking to is not necessarily in a corporate environment. It's I don't know what your culture is like, but in my culture, people are not politically correct, and they don't have distances, social distances, and they're real, if they're upset, they're upset. They don't have just a plastic face, so
But
it's
maybe
it's
it's good, because in,
yeah,
in American culture, there is a lot of plastic sometimes. In
yeah,
our
yeah,
culture I live in America, there is a lot of like, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you.
yeah.
And I'm also from a different culture, when people are more sincere, and which is good and bad, the both sides,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
And for us empaths, we probably need to learn how to provide the space and clear the energy and not bring anything home. It's important, but at the same time,
So I did not know that.
yeah,
Sorry, I did not know that about the shower and the smudging. It never crossed my mind
yeah, just,
not to when you that you literally meant do not bring it home,
yeah, don't
because
bring
I
it
mean
home, clear it.
I could be out with a friend or a relative who is telling me something that they're going through, and I am deeply feeling it as if it's happening to me right here, right now. Then they go off to their wherever, and I go back home, and it stays with me for weeks.
No, 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 we're clearing, it's okay.
Okay, okay.
Again, what
May
we
I
learn
suggest something?
is detached involvement. Yeah, Mirella.
You can even do like a little bit of salt and
Yeah,
then
salt, smudging, clearing. And when you take shower,
Thank you.
the most important thing in this is intention. So
Yes,
you are not just taking a shower, you intentionally clearing your energy, or you
right.
intentionally burning the Palo Santos, or you are intentionally burning sage. Intention to clear, not just, okay, I'm doing it, whatever. I'm taking the shower, I'm clearing myself. So everything has intention. And with the right intention, you are able to do that. Yes. So
Thank you so much.
thank you so much. So let's finish. And the question was about, do you need a prior education to join our life coaching program? No. like you will learn everything you need in this program. So your education will be this program, and you will learn about that next week as well. So just to give you heads up, like we're starting the next class on February 1st. And again, we'll be happy to tell you more about us and how and what we do different from other programs. So we always finish the
Katya,
class with, yeah, Sana,
1 second. Is Faith is here still?
I don't know.
Because again, I didn't understand. Maybe she
Is the
asked.
course enough for me to become a life coach? Yeah, so
I thought she spoke about our main program. That is why I will send her a separate message again.
Yes, so it's not
But
about the
yeah,
work.
it's
Yeah, so it's like you don't need a degree
no,
to
no, no.
join
I
the
mean, this
program.
7-day workshop will not give you the certification to be a life coach. It was
No,
about
I think
this.
so. Faith is asking about our main program.
Okay.
So if you're asking about the main program, you don't need any special education. You can join and you will be certified in intuitive life coaching. And our certification is accredited by International Coaching Federation. If you're asking about our 7-day workshop, of course, it's not like it's not like a certification program. It's for you a taste of what is entails to become a intuitive life coach, and so you will be able to learn a lot and start using what you learn in your everyday life or in your life and work. And if you get interested, you will be able to join us in our February class. The main program. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you don't need any special education for that. So the program is a comprehensive life coaching education. You will learn a lot in this program. So, and we always finish all our classes with a word that feels right for you in the moment. So, Jenna, what's your word?
Boundaries.
Good word. Where did you learn that word? Where did you get it? Him Lashmi, what's your word? Him Lashmi,
Gratitude.
Thank you so much. Thank you for staying with us, even though it's 11 past 11 already where you are. Sandy. Sandy, unmute yourself. What's your word? Were you typing? You're typing because yes, if you can't, yeah. So just type it in the chat. You are muted. Mirella, what's your word?
Authentic.
Authentic. Good. Thank you. Adrian, what's your word?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Good.
Freedom from all those
Oh,
hangups and all those burdens. Freedom.
yeah. Sana,
Joy.
thank you. Laura, what's your word? I think. Okay, Kevin, what's your word? I will. John. Sandy said calm. Okay, thank you. John, what's your word? If you can unmute.
Renewed.
Thank you so much. Laura, what's your word? We have a.
Unjudgmental.
Can you repeat?
Oh, unjudgmental.
Mental?
No, no,
Judgmental.
unjudgmental.
Unjudgmental. I'm like, okay, mental is a good word too.
Oh, well, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
Oh,
Yeah, that's cool. A, what's your word? Gus,
peace.
peace. Thank you so much. Gassan, what's your word? Brian, what's your word? Anne, what's your word? Just unmute yourself, guys, if you can. Valerie, what's your word? And Faith, what's your word?
Well, 2 words, but
Sure.
self-love.
Thank you. That's important. Very good. My word is community. And yeah, clarity is good too. Yeah, I like the word clarity. And always the word audacity. So audacity is the important word. You will hear from me a lot. So thank you so much for spending this time with us, with Academy, with me. And I hope to see you at the clarity calls. I really look forward to the next week and see and spend this next week with you. Please join us, and we will have more wonderful conversations. So thank you so much, and see you later, alligators.
In a while.
Bye,
Together.
guys. Thank you.